Truth Seekers. Welcome back. Zach here. It's January 9th, 2017, a Monday. Later today will be the College Football Championship. It's a repeat of last year's championship, Alabama versus Clemson. This time, the two teams have opposite records what they had last year. A year ago, Clemson was 14-0 undefeated. Alabama was 13-1. This year, Alabama's undefeated 14-0. Clemson's 13-1. Last year I could see it was a clear shot Alabama would win the championship. Very easy read. Later today I'll show you why this year I'm torn on who's going to win the game. So if you're waiting for that, coming later today. What I want to do in this video is show you where my Super Bowl prediction went wrong. I got really nervous about the wild card match being Packers versus Giants, because if you've been following me since 2015, my first hunch at what Super Bowl 51 might be was featuring either the Colts or the Packers. And after doing more research, I decided on a Colts and Giants championship. Anyway, I obviously went wrong. And I think there's a very real possibility the Packers make it to Super Bowl 51. We're going to get to that. But anyway, the purpose of this video is to show you where my pick went wrong. As I've said before, what I'm teaching, there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of worth in it. It's not an exact science. You can make mistakes. When I make the mistakes, I always teach where I went wrong. So that's what this video is about. Where we're going to go to start is this video that I made on July 16th, 2016. Another channel began to criticize my work and made multiple videos about it, and a lot of people were asking me to respond, so I made this video, respond politely, reminding what my work's about and what I thought the Super Bowl would be this season. So let's go back and listen for a few minutes, and then I'm going to teach you a lot about what happened in yesterday's games and what's to come. So here we are. This is July 16th, 2016. Hold on. I got to connect this to the speaker here. Became disconnected. All right. Now we're in the money. Here we go, Truth Seeker. This is what I said earlier this year. We're going to listen to a little bit of this. What my predictions were for the Super Bowl. How I liked the Giants, the Packers, the Falcons, and the Vikings after Prince's death. Just so you know, I made my original Super Bowl pick, Colts-Giants, February of 2016, 11 months ago. And anyway, we know it's incorrect. We're going to look at where I went wrong. So let's go back and listen here, Truth Seeker. So anyway, my Super Bowl prediction is the Colts and the Giants, a repeat of 1958, 1959. Before the Super Bowl transpired, not only did I call Broncos over Panthers, I also predicted that Von Miller would be the MVP. A lot of people won a lot of money on that pick. Von Miller wears the number 58. Freemasonry equals 58. From 1958 to 2016 will be 58 years. Anyway, also for that Super Bowl prediction, I called a Black Panther tribute. I showed the parallels between Huey P. Newton and Cam Newton. Cam Newton became the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. Von Miller, number 58, was the pick right after him in the same draft. Anyhow, the last time Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl, it was with the Colts over the Bears. Super Bowl 41, which Prince performed in. The year after Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl, Eli Manning won his first Super Bowl, the surpriser over the Patriots. Giants, Patriots, Eli Manning's first Super Bowl the year after his big brother wins it. And notice Peyton Manning would go on to lose in a Super Bowl against the Saints, who Peyton and Eli's father played for, Archie Manning, the Aints, who never won anything. Think about how the Saints won their first Super Bowl against Archie's son. You know, the work I do isn't about gambling. It's about getting people to understand how these leagues are scripted, our energy's being stolen, our time's being wasted. But if you want to gamble and make money off it, go for it. So anyway, if I'm wrong about the Giants,
In one of his comments, RFG says, I'm wrong about the Giants, which means he must agree with the Colts pick. The reason I picked the Colts is because, well, there's a pattern I've been following for seasons going back to 2013. But also, a big reason I picked the Colts is because Andrew Luck, the quarterback of the team, played his high school football in Houston. His father, Oliver Luck, played for the Houston Oilers, the old team that became the Tennessee Titans. Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck, Houston connections. The name Andrew Luck in Gematria sums to 112, just like Houston. And this will be Super Bowl 51. It will also be the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. The name Luck equals 47, the big way. The name Oliver Luck, the small way, also sums to 47. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. Again, 47-74, very important to the Masons and Zionists. RFG observes this information from me, takes the pick of the information and gives that to his viewers while sharing with them none of the other important knowledge, the knowledge that they can use themselves to empower themselves. See, RFG wants to keep a piece of the knowledge so he can sell it, you know? When you're fighting the truth, I don't think we can afford to hold it back for a little bit of selfish gain, like selling a $10 DVD or a stream, whatever it is. In the history of the Giants and Colts Super Bowls, the Giants had some big games against the Minnesota Vikings. And I made my pick in February for Giants and Vikings. The death of Prince has made me go,
Whoops, True Seeker. I just noticed what I said there. I didn't mean to say Giants and Vikings. I meant to say Giants and Colts. So that was a misspeak. But I'm about to explain why the Vikings have been upgraded on my list since the death of Prince. So we're just going to watch a little bit more of this, and then we'll go into all the new information. But I just want people to hear what I was saying then, what I've always been saying.
oh, well, shoot, maybe it's actually going to be the Vikings in the NFC and not the Giants. I still favor the Giants, but if I was going to bet on another team, I'd bet on the Vikings. Adrian Peterson, their star player, he has connections to Houston. Plus, check this out. The name Peterson has the same gematria as Houston. So does the name Bridgewater, the quarterback of the Vikings. If the Super Bowl was Colts and Vikings, we'd have a white quarterback versus a black quarterback, something we've seen in the ongoing theming. But
You know what? Just to give you something new, did you notice that the Colts and the Vikings both finished 8-8 this year, and they both finished their seasons against opponents that finished 3-13? The number 313 in the alphabetic order sums to 65. So Colts and Vikings both finished 8-8 against 3-13 opponents, 313, the 65th prime. Remember, there were all these things that happened with the Colts and the Vikings this year. Prince's death in relation to the upcoming Super Bowl, having performed at Super Bowl 41 that the Colts won. Then Jim Irsay, on the anniversary of Purple Rain, bought Prince's guitar that he used in Super Bowl 41. There were a number of tributes during the season, which I documented. So anyway, there's been a lot this year. Just trying to bring some of it back, plus give you something new. Colts and Vikings, similar seasons this year, and who hosts the Super Bowl next year? Think about it.
what sounds wrong with to me about that Super Bowl is it's two smaller markets. And usually in a Super Bowl, there's a bigger name competing. You know, New York, Indianapolis sounds more like it. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it'll be. It could end up being Vikings and Colts. But I take all of the evidence and make the most informed opinion I can, such as Eli following Peyton, the 58 connection, this year's Super Bowl being on the 58-year anniversary of the 58 and 59 seasons.
Do you remember how the final score of the Colts game against the Raiders when they got eliminated this year? 33-25, 58 points. It's the 97th season of the NFL, 97, the 25th prime. The Super Bowl's on 2/5. Giants equals 25. There's a lot of things that lined up, but I'm going to show you what else lines up for other teams and where I went wrong. Still to come. I want to fast forward here to a little bit further in this video to let you hear one more thing, and then we'll get into it. I just want you to hear what teams I was looking at in the NFC. In February, I had my teams ranked Giants, Packers, Falcons. Then with the death of Prince, I upgraded the Vikings to number 2 behind the Giants. And had you gone back further to when I first started with Super Bowl 51 research, I was looking at Colts or Packers. I'm kicking myself because it might end up being the Packers, and I wasn't too far off from the start, but we'll get there. So here we go. From that same video, a few more minutes ahead.
Team, it's the Green Bay Packers, also in the division of the Vikings. Prince Rogers Nelson reminds a lot of Rogers, the quarterback in the Packers.
I'm talking about how Prince, the musician, his name was Roger Nelson. Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson. Did you notice that Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson set a record with their 58th touchdown hookup this year? ESPN made a big deal about that, number 58. Purple Rain equals 58, Freemasonry 58, Secret Society 58, United States 58, Annuit Coeptus 58. The word star alone is 58. Stars and Stripes. So 58 relevant to Prince. This year, Rodgers and Nelson hooked up with the 58th touchdown, which put them in the record books.
Packers and the receiver Jordy Nelson. Green Bay also has a lot of connections to 44, like the Super Bowl. And if I wanted to take a really risky bet, I'd put a little money on the Atlanta Falcons too. They have the 44 connections as well.
Plus Matt Ryan equals 112, like Houston, like Andrew Luck. So there were the teams I just named. Giants, Vikings, Packers, Falcons. And without the death of Prince, that list would have just been Giants, Packers, Falcons. But death of Prince connected to the Colts. There's always next season. Prince said all we could go by is prophecy in this world. The word prophecy equals 52. So anyway, Gematria, this study, it reveals a lot. It shows you how things are being scripted. Understanding that things are scripted, you can look ahead and put the pieces of the puzzle together. And I've been able to do that a number of times very successfully. I've done it recently with the Heisman winner. Let's just go listen to what I said. What day was this? December 7th. Before the vote of the Heisman, I said why the Louisville QB would likely win the Heisman. Let's just go back and listen. This is the power of Gematria.
If you missed my video from yesterday on the death of Rashan, Salam, please check out that video. It's the same story. We're talking about a lot of the same things. What I found out is that the day of his death, after I made the video, what I found out is the day of his death, this past Monday, was the same day they announced the 5 Heisman potential winners. And in that video, I talked about one of them, the young man in Louisville.
Before I get to why the Louisville QB, I want to remind you, Rashan Salam died at age 42. Heisman in Gematria sums to 42. Dead at 42. On the day they announced the 5 Heisman finalists, the word 5 equals 42. Rashan Salam, former Heisman winner, found dead in a park. And I'm going to show you how Park reminded me of the Louisville QB, Muhammad Ali, whose death I predicted in 2014 at age 74. He died this past year at age 74. And also with regards to predictions, in February of this year, February 16th, I predicted why Prince would probably die very soon. And I talked about the number 67 in regards to Prince and Vanity. It was Vanity's death that let me see that Prince very well might pass soon. Prince died 67 days from Vanity. So anyway, I've gotten so many things correct and exposed so much knowledge that everyone can use. It's funny how little credit is given for all that I've shown, but how many negative haters I get when I finally get something wrong, you know? So here we go. Listen.
And I have a feeling he's going to be the Heisman winner, very possibly. If not this year, in a coming year. But his death, Rashan Salam, seems to definitely be pointing to the young Louisville phenom. Look at this. When you write out 5 as a word, there's 5 Heisman finalists. 5 sums to 42. Rashan Salam just died at age 42. Number stamped on black men. Heisman equals 42, like Freemason. I didn't realize that when he died, the day I read the article, they said he killed himself, or that's what it was thought. Just like how they said Big Syke died naturally. If these men are really dead, they're murdered. Not dead naturally, not suicide, they are murdered. Now they're saying his body was found in a park. The word park has Gematria 46, and it reminds me a lot of the word Parkinson's. The young phenom at Louisville has the same birthday as Muhammad Ali. I'm going to show you this in a moment, but look. Rashan Salam played in Chicago. Park 46, Chicago 46, Sacrifice 46, Louisville equals 46, where Muhammad Ali was born. Muhammad Ali Muslim, Rashan Salam Muslim. Muhammad Ali just died in Phoenix, born in Louisville, dead in Phoenix. He got a 19-mile funeral procession. This is the 19-year-old phenom quarterback with 46 named Gematria in Louisville right now. Parkinson's equals 46. The Heisman winner found dead in the park. Look, Muhammad Ali was born January 17th, 1942. He got Parkinson's at age 42. Remember, right after he died, Kimbo sliced the fighter out of Miami, where Muhammad Ali became boxing champion in 64. Miami Beach equals 64, boxer 64, civil rights 64. Think about it with Muhammad Ali. Barack Hussein Obama 64, announced as the 44th president, 44 years after the Civil Rights Act of 64. Civil Rights Act in 64, Civil Rights 64, Muhammad Ali boxing champion, just one more time. Muhammad Ali died the day after Game 1 of the NBA Finals, where Cleveland hadn't won since 64. I was saying all season it was Cleveland's year to win. I said when Muhammad Ali died, further proof Cleveland was going to win the NBA Finals. Hadn't won a championship since 64. So anyway, Muhammad Ali from Louisville, dead from Parkinson's, by the numbers this year, died on June 3rd. The Prophet Muhammad died at age 63 in the Quran. Now we get Lamar Jackson, born January 17th, 1997. Lamar Jackson in Gematria sums to 46. Lamar Jackson, Park, you know, the Muslim connection from Rashan Salam to Muhammad Ali. It honestly does.
So anyway, you get the point. There's something going on here. How could anyone look at all this and go, it's just coincidence? It's not coincidence. And the point of my work is to wake up people to what's going on in this world. You know? Not so that you can, impress your friends that you predicted the game or the championship at the beginning of the season. And if you guys have noticed, I've never gloated about any of my accomplishments. I've never made any videos saying told you so. I just move on to whatever's going on. It's not that impressive to me. I've seen since I was a child that these games are rigged and scripted, and it's just been so frustrating for me to grow up around peers, from childhood to adulthood, who just don't get it, who can't see through the obvious lies, how we're being, it's just such a joke, pro sports. Did you guys see the Hail Mary at the end of the wild card game yesterday? We're going to get to that. If you can't tell that pro sports are fixed off things like that, I don't know what to say to you. We'll just move ahead, Truth Seeker. So let's go back to last football season. I have a video on this. You can look it up. Zachary K. Hubbard, Lindy Infante. I think I did 2 or 3 of them. And I showed this death might very well be connected to the Super Bowl to come in Houston, because he died just before a Thursday night football game played in Houston, the site of Super Bowl 51, the site of Super Bowl LI. LI. Look at this man's initials, LI. Lindy Infante died before the Thursday night game in Houston, the site of Super Bowl 51. And in history, this man coached 2 teams in the NFL. He coached the Packers and the Indianapolis Colts. And when the news first happened, I said these teams could end up being the Super Bowl 51. Then what happened is they announced the Hall of Fame game this year as Colts and Packers. And I thought, well, there's no way they're going to have the Hall of Fame game be the Super Bowl as well. And so I started thinking, okay, it's got to be one of the 2 teams, Packers or Colts. And I started looking more and more for the narratives and what kind of alignment I saw. And there was an ongoing narrative from the Hall of Fame game at the start of that year with the death of Frank Gifford. Remember, Frank Gifford died the day of the Hall of Fame game the season before. Then this Hall of Fame game got scheduled as Packers, Colts. I said, okay, I think I see it. And I saw some major alignments in history between the Giants and Colts. And with that knowledge, I went forward with it was going to be Colts-Giants. But I didn't forget about the Packers. That's why I said they're my number 2. They're my number 2 if I'm wrong about the Giants. And I went down to Vegas this year and I did something I never do. I bet. And when I was there, I was going to put an extra 100 on the Packers and an extra 100 on the Falcons in case I was wrong about the Giants. And I really wish I had, because those teams are alive and well. It could happen. But I thought I'd done enough homework. I thought I had it with the Colts and Giants. And if you go back and look at my homework, I mean, it looked really good. It was a potential narrative. And for all I know, it was a possible narrative for this Super Bowl. But for whatever reason, here we are with the Packers still alive, advancing over the Giants, who I bet on. So we're going to talk more about it. But Lindy Infante, born March 27th, 1940, again coached the Packers and Colts. He had success with the Packers, not with the Colts. He died October 8th, 2015. He died on a date with 33 numerology. Infante equals 33. He died in October. October, the only month that equals 33. The big G in the middle of the Green Bay. The big G is also the letter in the middle of the Freemason compass and square where it represents 33. Brett Favre, the 33rd overall pick by the Falcons, joined the Packers. Yesterday, the Packers got their 33rd win all time over the Giants. Aaron Rodgers, 33 years old right now. When Lindy Infante died, Aaron Rodgers was 31. He was coming up on his 32nd birthday in December. That's significant because Houston equals 31. 31's the 11th prime. Football is a game of 11 on 11. Rodgers is 33 now, and if he makes it to the Super Bowl, he'll be 33. But anyway, it was Lindy Infante who died that day before this Thursday night football game. Here's what I want to show you. Thursday night football, that date, the Colts played in Texas, and the Colts won 27-20. And you know what else? They scheduled the Colts at Houston game this year 112 days before the Super Bowl. Houston equals 112, Andrew Luck 112, Kathy Luck 112, that's Andrew Luck's mom. Horseshoe 112, the Colts symbol. The Super Bowl 51 logo looks a lot like a horseshoe. There was an article written about how much money was placed in future bets on the Colts this year. You know, it's possible that the Colts were plan A for the Super Bowl. I don't know that that's true, but it's possible. There was a major narrative for the Colts to be there, and that's why I went with it. You know, my homework told me that that was the most alignment. If you watch that full video I put out, that I was showing you at the beginning of this video, if you watch the full video I put out, I go into how what I do is I look for the greatest amount of alignment, and once I find that greatest amount of alignment, I say that's my number one pick. Again, it's not an exact system. But Lindy Infante died before this game. Look at the score of the game, 27-20. Super Bowl 51's the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. Luck equals 47. Oliver Luck equals 47, the father of Andrew Luck. So here's something that's interesting as well. From the day Lindy Infante died to Super Bowl 51 in Houston, he died before the Thursday night game in Houston, it's a span of 487 days, which is the 93rd prime number. There are two teams in the NFL with 93 named Gematria. They are the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings. So, you know, you can see why I thought Indianapolis Colts. But it's not so. We know. We know this. This is a fact. The Indianapolis Colts will not be in Super Bowl 51. The Colts also play on the 39th parallel. Peyton Manning last year retired at age 39, began his career with the Colts. He won his last Super Bowl before retirement with the Broncos under John Elway. John Elway was drafted number 1 overall out of Stanford by the Colts, traded to the Broncos. Andrew Luck was drafted number 1 overall out of Stanford by the Colts, sent Peyton Manning to the Broncos to play under Elway. Anyhow, 39, the reflection of 93, the Colts on the 39th parallel. Everything in New York is 39. I even said things like, if the Giants draft Eli Apple at 10th overall, that'll be a sign they're going to the Super Bowl. That happened, but they still didn't make it. There were just so many things I was looking to happen that went along the way. That's why I was confident about my pick. But anyway, the stadium that the Super Bowl's in, NRG equals 39. Construction began on that stadium March 9th, which can be written 3/9 or 9/3. It's Super Bowl L. L's the 12th letter. 1 plus 2 breaks down to 3. I is 9. Super Bowl LI has the 39 connection. Lindy Infante, Colts and Texans connections. The year prior, on Thursday Night Football, on October 9th, 2014, the Colts also played in Houston, winning 33-28. 33-28. That's funny because the name Lindy is 28 and Infante's 33. You know? And then a year later, he dies before the Thursday Night Football game with the Colts again. This is why I gave more weight to the Colts. I thought that this was all part of what they'd been scripting with these tributes. Zerlon Tipton died in the offseason, synced up perfectly with the Super Bowl. That was the Colts player, the only player to score in the Deflategate game. I thought the narrative would be the Colts dethroning the Patriots with the 39-year-old Tom Brady. But anyway, Lindy, Packers, it goes that way too. And I acknowledge all this time, it could be the Packers, but I just thought there was just more evidence here for the Colts if it had to be one of those two teams. So now let's look at the Patriots. I saw the whole time that the narrative had a lot to do with the Patriots, the Colts narrative. And I said early this season, if you go back and watch my videos from the beginning of the season, I started off hot. All my predictions were dead on. I was even calling the scores of the games. And I documented the major tributes for the Patriots by the numbers at the beginning of the season. And from week 1, 2, 3, those videos I did, I said, these tributes are actually scaring me. And they're making me think that, God forbid, the Patriots could end up in the Super Bowl again this year. And I still haven't done enough research on the Steelers and the Chiefs. I think there's a narrative for one of them possibly, but I see a lot that's lining up for the Patriots, so I just want to share that with you now. You can take this knowledge that I'm teaching you, and you can apply it to the other teams and do the rest of the homework. I'm just giving you what I know. I'm telling you where I went wrong and what could possibly be to come. So New England Patriots, this is their 57th season, important Super Bowl number. Their playoff record, they've currently played in 48 playoff games. To get to the Super Bowl, they have to win 2 more playoff games. They got to win this weekend and then the AFC Championship. That would put them at 50 playoff games total, meaning Super Bowl 51 would be their 51st playoff game. 51st playoff game for Super Bowl 51. If the Patriots go to the Super Bowl and win, they'll get win number 5 and 9 appearances. We'll talk about 5 and 9, what that has to do with 2017. We'll also talk about how that would be their 5th championship with Belichick and Brady. If I had to pick a team today who the Patriots would play, it would be the Packers. And based on what I've looked at so far, if I'm wrong about the Packers, it could very well be the Cowboys. So by next weekend, whoever wins that Packers-Cowboys game, I think that's likely going to be the opponent for the Patriots if the Patriots are in. But again, I got to look at the full narratives for the Chiefs and Steelers, and I haven't done that yet. But I'm going to show you something that's very interesting here with the Packers and the Patriots, who played in the 1997 Super Bowl. Here we are in the 97th season of the NFL. Packers and Patriots, both teams start with P. P's the 16th letter. 16. This is the end of the 2016 season. Championship played beginning of 2017. Packers and Patriots are both team names with 46 Gematria. The Packers were 4-6. Aaron Rodgers said he was going to run the table. We'll talk about that phrase. I noticed yesterday, I think it was Fox that had the game on. They were doing this run the table. They had this created segment, graphics, somebody playing pool. I mean, when you watch these games and just think about how it's just such a contrived. Did you guys watch the game yesterday? I mean, it was just so ridiculous. We'll get to it. But anyway, Packers and Patriots 46-46. Houston, Texas 46. Packers on fire since they were 4-6. Winning their 5th championship in 9 attempts kind of reminds me of the number 59, which is the 17th prime number. Here we are at the beginning of 2017. The date of the Super Bowl, February 5th, 2017. That date can be written 2/5 or 5/2. If Tom Brady and Bill Belichick go to the Super Bowl and win, they will be 5-2 in Super Bowls. 5-2. Also, Bill Belichick equals 97. This is the 97th season of the NFL. 97 is the 25th prime number. Super Bowl on 2/5, which looks something like 25. Tom Brady, if he wins the Super Bowl this year, he'll win 3 more playoff games. This is his playoff record. He comes in with 31. Houston alone equals 31. He'll have to win 3 more to win the Super Bowl. He'd get his 25th win to end the 97th season of the NFL, making him and Bill Belichick 5-2 on February 5th. Are you seeing this? With regards to the Patriots being in their 57th season, when you write out 57, it sums to 131, like championship, like Super Bowl. Again, Tom Brady's 39 this year, like Peyton Manning was last year. From Tom Brady's birthday, August 3rd, football equals 83. 83 birthday to the Super Bowl, February 5th, 187 days. I've seen this number all next to Donald Trump all year. Donald Trump has been getting a lot of 187 tributes. I know that Tom Brady has been, speaking up Trump. Could be some little tribute here. The Patriots, make America great again. Tom Brady, rigged spectacles, American people being made to worship assholes. The more important connection. With regards to it being the 51st playoff game, let's not forget that Houston Texans equals 51, just like conspiracy. Seattle Seahawks, my buddy thinks it's going to be a repeat again. He wants to bet me on it that it's going to be Seahawks and Patriots. And I know not to bet that guy. He's like magical with bets too. So I'm like, okay, you think I'm going to pay attention. You've been right about a lot of things. But earlier this year, I said why the Seahawks would defeat the Patriots. I called that game because it was going to be Pete Carroll's 99th career win. New England equals 99. That one was easy to see. Pete Carroll used to coach the Patriots before he went to college and then ended up with the Seahawks. Something I meant to say earlier, Wisconsin and Georgia, 2 of the only states with 44 Gematria. Again, the Super Bowl's on a date with 44 numerology. The word Fibonacci equals 44. The Fibonacci sequence, numbers that it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm adding the number that I said prior. So it went 13, 21, 34, 55. 21 plus 34 is 55. 34 plus 55 is 89. 55 plus 89 is 144. That's the 12th Fibonacci number, 144. When you write out 44 as a word, it sums to 144. The square root of 12, or excuse me, the square root of 144 is 12. The only 2 QBs left in the playoffs that wear 12 are Brady and Rodgers. 12 and 12. They could meet. Here was the Super Bowl, January 26th, 1997. The Packers defeated the Patriots. This was pre-Tom Brady. 35-21 was that score. L-I, Super Bowl L-I. L's the 12th letter, I's the 9th. L plus I, 21. The Green Bay scoring 35 is interesting because I call that the Tom Brady number. Tom Brady gets so many 35 tributes, it's crazy. Tom Brady equals 35, his date of birth, 35 numerology, the entire Deflategate spectacle by the number 35. Aaron Rodgers, his phrase was run the table when they were down 4-6. Run the table equals 126, a number that I'm often saying is connected to championships. And look, they played on January 26th, 1/26. I think it's interesting. This was also a date with 35 numerology. Wait, let me double check that. Let's do it together. I might be wrong about that. 1 + 2 is 3, + 6 is 9, + 1 is 10, + 9 is 19, + 9 is 28, + 7 is 35. Yeah, that's right, 35. So it was a date with 35 numerology as well, where the Packers won with 35. See that a lot. Go through the history of Super Bowl scores. Decode the team name, decode the date, look at the scores. So often the scores are the team names. I'm up here in Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks have won 1 Super Bowl with 43 points. Seattle Seahawks equals 43. I noticed the last time the Patriots and Packers played, it was also a date with 47 numerology. Or not 47, excuse me. The score summed to 47 points. Losing team had 21 again. Again, this will be the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. From that last game that they played, November 30th, 2014, to the Super Bowl, is 2 years, 2 months, and 6 days. And I was laughing because at the same time, ESPN had up their front page 226. 226 is a number that has to do with Saturn, the keeper of time. Special number to the occult. When you write out 226, it sums to 93. Talking about how Lindy Infante's death was, who used to coach the Packers, connected to the number 93 with this Super Bowl. I documented earlier this year, Bill Belichick was going for his 226th career win in the Texans' 226th franchise game. And it was the first time the Patriots had a rookie QB since 1993. And it was Jacoby Brissett. Brissett equals 112, like Houston. If you go back and watch that video, I said if they want a white QB versus a black QB, we might even see Brissett playing in the Super Bowl for the Patriots instead of Tom Brady. So I was, that's probably not going to happen. But if you go back and watch this video, I was documenting that and I said, these tributes the Patriots are getting, this stuff's scaring me. We really might see this team in the Super Bowl this year. So, here it is with the Packers and Patriots. Their last game 2 years, 2 months, and 6 days before the Super Bowl. Oh, excuse me. Allergies. Too much talking. Also, did you guys notice that number 18 on January 8th had 3 touchdowns? That's 6 points plus 6 points plus 6 points. 18 points for number 18 on 1/8. And one of them, the scripted Hail Mary. We'll get to that scripted Hail Mary in a second. I just want to point out there's something here with the Cowboys too. Check this out. July 29th, 1993. Dak Prescott born in 93. The name Dak Prescott has Gematria 51. Prescott also has Gematria 44. Numbers we're talking about. 44 numerology. Wisconsin equals 44. Georgia 44. Part of the reason I liked the Packers and Falcons. I should mention, the Packers are in their 96th season this year. The word Freemason equals 96. Freemasonry created American football, the ranging degrees of Scottish Rite. Freemasonry 31, 32, 33, added together 96. That big G represents 33. Packers in their 96th season. So Dak Prescott. Also, before the season, there was the Dallas Cowboys bus crash story, and I showed how that was synced up with week 1 of the season where the Cowboys lost to the Giants at home, and I thought that was part of the foreshadowing that the Giants would make it back to the Super Bowl. Well, the Cowboys were part of that game. The Cowboys, a lot of people think are going to make it to the Super Bowl for the Make America Great Again, America's team, Donald Trump, Patriots thing we see going on, and it's possible. It's possible. If it wasn't for the Lindy Infante death and what I knew about all that, I'd probably be giving the edge to the Cowboys instead of the Packers. But look, could end up being the Cowboys, and I'm just showing you possibilities right now. Haven't done enough homework. From Dak Prescott's birthday to the Super Bowl, February 5th, July 29th, is 191 days. 191 is the 43rd prime. Dallas Cowboys equals 43. Champion 43. Remember, Thanksgiving Day, they had that special Fire Department 43 that the Dallas Cowboys fixed up. Dennis Leary at the end, who's been selling Ford trucks. The word Ford equals 43 too. Ford equals 43. Thanksgiving Day, Dennis Leary, Ford, and the Cowboys fixing up this fire department. Station 43. Dennis Leary's fire truck brand, or his cause, whatever the name of it is, I showed it in the video, equals 343. They say that 343 firefighters died on September 11th. But anyway, 343, 43, syncing up nicely with Dak Prescott's birthday. Cowboys haven't been to the big game in a long time. You know, Cowboys fans feel like it's their turn, they're due. Even though they're one of the leading teams in Super Bowl wins, they've won 5, one more than the Packers. It's also a span of 192 days from Dak Prescott's birthday. That's a number connected to NFL. The Cowboys are also in their 57th season like the Patriots. If the Cowboys made it to the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl would be their 63rd game in the playoffs. And when you count 1 through 63, it sums to 2016. This is the 2016 season. So there is something there, no doubt about it. Again, 57, the number connected to championships and Super Bowls. and you know what? I guess I'm just going to do this. I'm going to play this clip. This is RFG Chosen One. He was following my work last year. You know, I just want to ask RFG what happened. Why was it that you were following and supporting Gematria and then all of a sudden you turned and started attacking me and Gematria? This is RFG following in my lead last year when I called everything about the Super Bowl right from October and November on. You know, last year I was dead on the money. Last year the narrative was a lot easier to read, and I think part of that was because Peyton Manning was retiring, which was obviously going to be a major narrative. But I just want you guys to listen to RFG. He used to be a supporter of me. Now he's always criticizing and hating. I don't get it.
What's good, everybody? It's the Chosen One. I'm back at it today to go over a very interesting topic. And one thing I want people to understand is when I first started this YouTube journey, I started by decoding and breaking down how professional sports was rigged, especially the NFL and the NBA. But when I was decoding it, okay, and showing people how it was fixed, I was doing it through the perspective of the casinos profiting off of the underdogs winning the Super Bowl. I was basically following the large portions of money. But one other thing that I've learned, you know, through this whole conscious journey is how to decode and study numerology and how to use gematria. And one thing that is very interesting when you look at this year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50, okay, as far as numerology is concerned, it basically gives away what's getting ready to happen during the sporting event. 2 years.
So, you know, he was following me. I was the only person in the world teaching this. I mean, you can tell he learned from me because I even have taught everyone how to say the word wrong. The word is truly Gematria. And I don't say Gematria, I call it Gematria. And I do that for a reason. Most people think Gematria only applies to Hebrew. So this is Gematria within the English language, which I have named Gematria because it's very clearly a Jewish secret. So I'm emphasizing the J. But anyway, RFG Chosen One following my lead, you know, making a lot of correct picks, and I think that's why RFG followed me with the Colts this year. And I know he's come out and said that they flipped the script and we had it for sure. I mean, they might have. But look, the only reason RFG even knew to go with the Colts and Vikings is because he was following me. And I think what he did as a young man is, you know, he tried to, I guess, steal my shine and put my work down to overshadow me or something. But, you know, friend, things catch up with you. You shouldn't be doing that. he in his video that he made at the beginning of this year, he said he wanted to come up to where I live and get my Gematria book. Because I'm going to be putting out a book. It's supposed to be out. I'm slacking on it. But anyway, he said he wanted to come up here and get that book and have a Gematria book burning. Why? Why? Why would you want to burn knowledge? Doesn't make any sense. And this is why you want to know the Gematria, because nothing shows you how rigged sports are like knowing this language, the language of numbers coded into words. Let's get to that 42-yard Hail Mary on 4th and 2 that I looked at my girlfriend and said, watch, they're going to score a touchdown here before it even happened. And if you go back and watch multiple videos that I put out, I've said, look throughout history how many Hail Marys came on the quarterback's 42nd attempt or from the 42-yard line or the down 4th and 2. I think every Hail Mary in the history of NFL and college football is all about 42. Just go back and look. So anyway, yesterday I saw it. They were on the 42-yard line. It was 4th and 2. Who was it? Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were doing the game, and they started hyping up, Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary attempt here. He's the best in the game at this. And I'm just thinking, listen to this WWE bullshit. There's no such thing as being the best in the game at a Hail Mary. Aaron Rodgers has a lot of Hail Marys scripted in his career, and that's because they're scripted. There's no such thing as being good at a Hail Mary. The point is to bomb the ball up and hope to God your receiver catches it for the touchdown. As a defender, it's a very easy play to stop because you just put your secondary, the people who guard against the pass, back in the end zone and guard the back of the end zone and make sure no receiver can be there to get the ball. It's very easy for defenders to just bat the ball down. You get your taller, bigger, quicker men out there, no problem to guard the Hail Mary. So what happened yesterday on 4th and 2 from the 42? The Giants, the defensive team, all get in a tight pack, hardly put their hands up, let the receiver get behind all of them, and catch the ball in the back of the end zone. Now for the fan, they're going, well, how do you do that? How does Aaron Rodgers make the throw so perfect? Aaron Rodgers plays football for a living, and he's paid millions of dollars. And if you're an athlete, there's a lot of other talented men besides yourself that can really throw balls, from footballs to baseballs. I have a very good arm. I can drop footballs in a bucket from distance all day. I can throw a football as pretty as many people as you've ever seen. But I'm not in the NFL. I know if I was in the NFL, I could do the same thing Aaron Rodgers did yesterday, because that's what I do for a living. Practice, be able to hit spots on the field. The point is, the play happened not because Aaron Rodgers threw the ball so pretty, which is part of the equation, but because the New York Giants purposely knew to get bunched up and not even defend the pass. All throughout history, Hail Mary by 42, I've said it a million times on this channel, here it is again. Packers wear the big G on the side of their helmet. Big G represents 42 like Freemasons. Again, Freemasonry created American football. Aaron Rodgers yesterday also was playing for his win, trying to become 4 and 2 at Lambeau, which he did. And I told my girlfriend was the one who urged me to go down and bet this year. She thought, I'd done my homework, and she thought the knowledge, she was confident in it. She was ready to go bet. After I'd showed her all these things, there was just things like we were watching TV, and all of a sudden on the screen, it put up the stat, Indianapolis Colts, Marvin Harrison caught 112 touchdown passes from Peyton Manning with the Colts, and I'd already been telling her about 112 and Houston and Andrew Luck, and she was just like, we got to go bet on this. So, to appease the girlfriend, we went and bet on it. So anyway, yesterday she was heartbroken when the Giants were eliminated and the bet was dead. And then I said, well, remember how I wanted to put a little bit of money on the Packers? You didn't want that. And anyway, that wasn't the right thing to bring up because that made her even more mad. But I just knew when this Hail Mary happened, the Giants were dead. It was just, I knew the Packers were going for their 33rd win all time against the Giants. I knew that was the game. That Hail Mary was just nail in the coffin. I had to laugh at this, though. My girlfriend thought we were coming back. My girlfriend didn't want to give up because I was already, at halftime I said, baby, I think we just lost. I think that was the sign. But here was another big play in the game. Remember the Packers went for it at the 42-yard line in the second half, fourth and inches at their own 42, going for the first down, and the announcing crew going, I really don't like this decision. This could just turn the whole momentum of the game. And the running back got stuffed in the backfield at the 41-yard line. Got stuffed at the 41. Then what happened? Touchdown from Eli Manning to Tavares King. 41-yard touchdown. They said it was the first career touchdown of Tavares King. Notice that touchdown gave the Giants 13 points. Look at this. Look at this. Just so you see, it was recorded as a 41-yard touchdown. Here's what's up with that. It was Eli Manning's 13th season, and I thought that was part of the reason he would go, it being number 13 for him. But anyway, look at all this 41. Green Bay 41, Rodgers 41, the name King equals 41. It was King that caught the 41-yard touchdown. 41, a special number to the nation. 41 is the 13th prime number. So King gives the touchdown that brings the game to 13 points. The Giants would not score any more points in this game. They would finish with 13 in Eli's 13th season. The name of the receiver who caught the ball, Tavares King, it has this gematria that you see. Notice the 64 and 73, which matches with New York Giants. He was also the leading receiver with 73 yards in the game. They put up this stat during the game. Eli had as many wins at Lambeau as Aaron Rodgers. Wait a minute. You know what's interesting about that? I checked the stats before the game, and Rodgers was 3-2 at home in the playoffs. So I wonder if this was a mistake by the website, because the website, or not by the website, but by Fox NFL reporting yesterday. Because the website I use is accurate. They have everything documented, the box scores. Rodgers might have already had his third win before they even put this up. I don't know what's up with that. Now I want to go back and check. But I know for sure that before the game, I had him 3-2 at home with a chance of becoming 4-2 or 3-3. But anyhow, the final score yesterday was 38-13. Final game of the wild card round. Notice that wild card equals 38. Win with 38 points. Notice 38 plus 13 is 51. Super Bowl 51 upcoming. Rodgers just turned 33, 38 days before the game. So Rodgers wins with 38 points. Final game of the wild card round. You know? This is what I mean. This is why you need the gematria knowledge. All these people who are coming out of the woodwork to rip my work and say it's all fraud and... I mean, these people are... I don't know how anyone could fall for it, but I see that people are falling for it. It's sad. Trolling really does get to people. It really does have an influence on people's minds and what they think. That's why I'm making this video, to remind people, you want this knowledge. This knowledge shows you what's going on in these rigged sports games. Packers also won by 25 points. Giants equals 25. Again, 97, the 25th prime, 97th season of the NFL. Eli Manning came into the season with 97 wins. His first win was his 98th. Eli Manning equals 98. More reasons that I thought things looked good for the Giants. The game yesterday started at 4:40 Eastern Standard Time back in New York. Eli had 44 attempts, Wisconsin 44. The Super Bowl's on a date with 44 numerology. Tavares King, leading receiver with 73 yards like New York Giants and like his own name gematria, with the 41-yard touchdown, wide open. Giants had 70 yards rushing. So anyway, if you guys want more information, go to my blog. There's a lot here. Just wanted to show you where I went wrong with the Super Bowl pick. You know, remind you guys that gematria, it is the language worth knowing. Still not an exact science, but very good information to have. Helps you see a lot. And again, the goal here, to wake up the manpower of this world so that they can care about more than the sports game. Because I know most men, what they care about in this world are what's going on with their sports team and getting laid. And as men, we have to care about more than that. And more than money too. You know, that's the next thing, money. We got to care about more than these things. This world is going to shit around us. Instead of investing all of your time and energy in your sports teams and your fantasy sports, how about investing time and waking up your fellow man so we can put an end to the tyranny? Then we can take these sports stadiums we all paid for with our taxpayer dollars and have some legitimate competitions in. Not watching million-dollar assholes give up the Hail Mary at the end of the half, reminding you that the game's all bullshit. Like WWE. Here he comes off the top rope with the elbow! You know? That's what that Hail Mary was. Troy Aikman, Joe Buck. Oh, this guy's the best in the game at the Hail Mary. Give me a break. Oh my God. And RFG Chosen One. Man, grow up. I don't know why you keep doing this. Mature. Show that you're better. I keep trying to help you out. You keep trying to throw stones. I don't know what it's all about. You know, if you watch RFG's video that he made for me, he was talking about how shitty my Giants pick was and how the NFC Championship was going to be the Vikings and the Saints. You know, I don't know. RFG, man, I'm trying to help you out. Trying to help you and everyone else out. And for all of you who hate me, I'm trying to help you out too. I'm just giving you guys free knowledge. I'm not charging you for anything. I've been honest with you the whole time about what this is. You know, good knowledge to have, not a perfect science. But look at how much I've gotten right. You've seen all of me get more right than you've seen in any other person in your lifetime. And I've done it in a very short period of time. You guys expect imperfection. There's no such thing as perfection. Just got to learn from your mistakes. Till next time, Truth Seeker.